Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know why that would be, but
He probably because he replied to like Adley Rutschman's big tits. Front
you,
office rivals.
you think that would have done it?
That's not what did it, Josh. Come on.
I'm joking, dude. Come on.
Okay.
Come
All right.
on.
All right.
Reputable reporter Adley Rutschman's big tits.
Fly ball left field. Nate McClough is there. And the magical season of the Baltimore Orioles continues.
Ball and 2 strikes on Goins. Ground ball to first. There's Pierce. And the Orioles are champions of the AL East.
And everybody knows he's ready to fire on the first one. Bases loaded. Young swings, line drive. That is down and to the wall. Cruz is in. Pierce is in. Party around third. He's going to try to score. And safe. The Orioles have the lead.
With the first selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Baltimore Orioles select Adley Rutschman, a catcher from Oregon State University.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 42 of the Talking Birdie podcast. It's Ryan, and guess what? The whole crew is back together. Brad is here after a nice long 2-week absence, and the boys are back in town. So, Josh, Brad, my dudes, how we doing? How we feeling?
What a damn week, man. All this stuff going on at the Orioles is enough in its own. I had a decent week myself with the house stuff kind of coming to a close here, but I've been much more focused on the Orioles than I have been perhaps in the month of June or something like that. But they've been fun every single night in, night out. And just can't wait to see more of the off day kind of blows came at the worst time. But yeah, other than that, still high energy going into the Chicago series. The boys had some high energy. They were out on the water.
That was funny.
A couple O's fans watching them boat down the river. That was fun. Brad, how you doing?
Oh, dude. It's good to be back, boys. Yeah, it's been a busy last couple weeks. And as I was telling you guys before we started recording, it's just been the last few weeks. Our recording night has happened to fall on the worst possible nights of the week for me with this online class I've been taking. I had my midterm come up. I had lab due another night. And then today like I said, I was tempted to actually call out again today because I was busy as shit all day today and I had an assignment due tonight, but I couldn't let you guys down 3 weeks in a row, and I couldn't let down the people 3 weeks in a row. So I'm back, and we're all better for it.
We are all better for it.
Ryan, how's everything going for you, bro?
Dude, it's going well, man.
Yeah.
It's going really good. Feeling good. Been a great week. Like you guys are saying, this team being good just makes life better.
Dude, yeah.
I got a little more pep in my step lately, and I'm just feeling good.
Life it really is amazing, the mindset of a sports fan. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But when your team's doing well, it really does change your outlook on a lot of things.
Yeah,
it does. And I tried being, when we won our 8th game in a row yesterday, I'm trying to think from a rational standpoint. We're still up against it. Our roster's still probably not ready to be a playoff contender. We still really would need to upgrade the infield and the rotation, but you can't help but feel the excitement and the energy that's going on around this team right now.
Indeed.
Whether they make a run at it or not, to quote Happy Gilmore, Grandma, no matter what happens, I got to admit I'm having fun.
That's a really good point, man, because the people who say, why do you care so much about sports? It's pointless. It's a pointless exercise. Those people clearly never watch sports.
It is, but at the same time, it's not. It's weird. It's hard to explain to somebody who's not passionate about it.
It's very tribal. It's very human instinctual, and I don't know. It's just you can't explain it.
Exactly.
It's true, but also the people that say that are also into really dumb shit as well. So I don't really care what they have to say.
Hopefully they are. Otherwise, what the fuck are they living for?
That's true. Yeah, they're just into weird stuff. But you can also kind of apply the same thing with sports as whatever you're being into. Like for me, sports is a lot about camaraderie, talking to people. I always wear a nose hat when I travel. Every time I fly, every time I go somewhere, I always have a nose hat on. And just on the off chance someone sees me and says something, like, you can start a conversation with a stranger just because I've got a dumb orange bird on my hat.
Yes.
Like, I think that's cool. If that's not cool to you, then that's fine. But I think it's really cool.
Yeah, very much. I saw some Cubs guy at a restaurant like probably 2 years ago now, but we were just talking about like the World Series championship they won and stuff. And like, I was able to go 1-for-1 with him on like Cubs prospect conversation and stuff. And like, that was just a good feeling. I'm not even a Cubs fan, but I was able to do that with somebody.
That reminds me, last year I went to Ravens Steelers game in Pittsburgh, and some of the Steelers fans sitting in front of me. The people in my section were generally pretty cool. They were playfully talking trash, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, our shitty baseball team's still better than your shitty baseball team." And then I was like, "Oh really?" And then I got into a prospect argument with Steelers fans about O's versus Pirates, O's having a better future at a high playoff implication NFL football game in a rivalry in December. It was a fun time.
When it's 3rd and 12, but you debating Gunnar Henderson versus Nick Gonzalez.
Dude, I know. It was great, man. It was great. And I fried those guys too. And they're like, okay, yeah, all right, I guess you got me. I don't know.
Dude,
they got no core.
People that are into prospects like us are a different breed.
I know, dude. For real, but I love it.
You get so into it, you forget that most fans aren't like you.
I haven't always loved it this much. I've always enjoyed it to an extent. Like, yeah, it was fun when Manny was coming through and Weers was coming through. But I didn't actually become passionate about this until 2018. I knew we were hot garbage and we were going to be for a while. How else am I going to get enjoyment out of baseball once we sold everyone off?
It's the only way.
Other than following the farm. And that's what started it for me.
Yeah, it was the only way. I mean, if you're going to keep yourself engaged at all, that's what you had to do.
But I just fell in love with it so much that even as we're coming into our good years, I still plan on sticking with it. So
yeah, because I mean, at the worst, it's never a bad thing to be educated on your team's farm system. Like, I even enjoy watching the star prospects for other teams too. I mean, it's cool. Obviously, it's mostly about the O's, but I like when there's a big time prospect coming in for another team, and I get a chance to get a baseball signed by him or something, and it's all fun. It's a much more laid back and intimate atmosphere. Yeah, and it's important. It's important too. Because then too, like, if you're well versed on your team's prospects, well, I wasn't back for a while. I didn't dive head first into it until the same time as you.
Didn't need to. You didn't need to, really.
Yeah, and like, and so like every time Dan Duquette made one of his dumb fucking go for it trades of that whole era, I was like, oh cool. This is a great trade. Like, who cares about prospects? I'm like, I don't care about that guy. And then like later on, I'm like,
oh wow,
Zach Davies is pretty good. I wish we had him right now, but we traded him for Gerardo Parra. Josh Hader is one of the best relievers in the game, but we traded him for Bud Norris.
But now we have Brian Baker.
Cool.
Yay.
Ryan, maybe you can attest to this, but like being into like prospect baseball cards is really like forced me to be
so
like
much fun
across the board. Like I know pretty much guys from like every team that I should be investing in, like, and then you go up to like someone who doesn't know prospects and you're like, bro, you know who Creed Willems is? No.
Yeah, I love that too, because I love how you and I can just have conversations. Like, we can like look at a prospect's like his first auto card and be like, what the fuck are they asking for this much for this guy? This guy ain't shit. Like, or just like marveling at how the stock of a certain player's card will go up, like Kobe Mayo.
We have watched our Kobe Mayo cards like triple in value in the last 10 months, dude. It's insane.
The stonks are just off the charts on Kobe Mayo auto cards.
I actually want to watch the Gunner market over the next couple of weeks since he jumped up to the number 5 overall prospect.
That
in
was quite a
baseball.
jump. That was a
Did we talk
quite a
about that
jump.
on here?
Didn't get a chance to. That
Didn't
just
get a
happened.
chance to.
It just happened. I think it happened late last week.
It was like the night after we recorded.
I want to say it was more Wednesday or Thursday. I mean, it doesn't matter. But yeah, no, this is the first time since we talked about it, or since that's happened that we've had a chance to talk about it. But yeah, man, Gunner's stonk is up too.
Stonks. He's going to be number 4 when Riley Green graduates here soon. I think Gabriel Moreno is also at the major league level, and he is probably set to graduate at some point soon.
Did Green become the number 1 prospect?
He did.
Okay.
I know Corbin Carroll's up there, Grayson Rodriguez, and then Gunner, I think, is the order. I think I'm missing one person.
I'm obviously early on this because we don't know how Kerstad's going to do in Aberdeen and going forward. He absolutely, obviously pissed on and put up pretty much close to decent softball numbers in low A ball. But I'm interested to see how if he continues his success in Aberdeen, even like anywhere close, if they'll move him, if they'll move him up the charts, really, because he's a little bit older. And I'm not quite sure how that's going to play into the prospect ranking factor, but the dude hit like what, 460?
Yeah, they waited about a week or two too long there. I mean, I get they want to be cautious with him and stuff, but 100 ABs and he's still hitting like 450. Like,
it's
come on.
Yeah, I don't care if it's low A. That's stupid, dude. Nobody's supposed to hit that well in 100 at bats sample.
And he's what, 23 years old, high college bat pick and
SEC.
Ball.
Yeah. Number 2 overall pick. Yeah.
Whatever. He's up now. So that's all we can ask for.
Speaking of Gunner, Josh, should we talk about our findings before Brad got into the chat real quick?
Yes. So Brad, I don't know how well versed you are on like high school selections, like their high school stats, actually, because Drew Jones posted his a few weeks ago.
I saw that. Yeah. Other than that, I can't say I'm very well versed in.
We were briefly discussing that, like pre-show. We were just chatting and we talked about it. And I don't know I think Josh brought it up. He was like, I wonder what Gunner's senior high school stats were. So he looked them up.
Yeah, they were wild. So Gunnar Henderson, his senior year, I don't have them pulled up anymore, but I think I remember most of the numbers. 32 games played as a senior, 75 RBIs, Brad. He batted like 533, had his on-base percentage up over 650. His slugging was 1.2. His OPS was like, what, 1.8?
It puts that at like a 1.8 or a 1.9 OPS.
He might have been in the 2s, who knows? But like, that's insane. Like, he had more extra base hits than I think singles, and like, I mean, dude was wild. Got selected in I think it was this comp round for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, but also they made a point to mention about Gunner. Gunner was bona fide first round talent, but everybody knew he had a full ride to Auburn.
Yeah.
He was set to go to Auburn to play college ball. So that made him, they say that's what made him drop, because teams didn't want to risk it, going with him and not being able to sign him. Cause there's nothing worse than taking a guy, using the number, your first round draft capital on him, and then him being like, well, I don't really want to sign.
Well, I believe the reason it's still worth taking a risk on that is I know it at least used to be this way. I don't know if it changed, but if they don't sign, then you just get another pick in that same slot the next year.
It's not the same slot, I don't think.
No.
You do receive compensation for it, but it's not that good. It's not like you just get a do-over next year. That definitely isn't what happens.
I could have sworn that I remember like a number 1 overall pick not signing 1 year.
Mark Capel.
Okay. And then, he signed with Houston when they drafted him, though, right?
I think the Pirates took him like with the top 5 pick or something like that, and then the Astros selected him first overall, and he signed that. But he was a Pirate first.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, he's didn't exactly work out, but he's in bigs now. So,
but for reference, I had a Kobe Mayo stats pulled up for high school as a junior, because the senior year he only played 8 games. He hit 455, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, but that's only 8 games because the COVID year. Junior year he actually only hit like 400 for a high schooler, and that's like not exemplary, I guess. I know I say only, but like I've played on teams where guys hit like over 400 pretty easily.
Yeah, a lot of times high school teams will have one or two, like a guy or two that bat 400. Yeah.
Yeah, but him playing in like Florida probably makes some sort of difference.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy he got drafted after having only 8 games played as a senior. Like I figured most teams would like let the high school guys kind of play it out year in college or something.
That's the other thing about looking at high school stats is the competition level varies so much depending on if they're like a high level private school that's basically a prep school for college that, you know, is a D1 athlete academy or just public school. There's a huge difference between playing this.
Oh yeah.
So
if you look at like all the top like projected draft picks this year, they're either playing at like IMG Academy, like down in Florida, like there's some like crazy stuff like that. Like I think Elias, I don't know if he specifically said this, but it was like a rumored guy to be on their list or whatever. I think his last name's Collier, Cam Collier. He actually forego. I don't know.
We know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, he reclassified basically. But he played a year at junior college, and like that's competition right there. That's above high school, I guess.
Well, the thing is, in baseball, a lot of junior colleges are really fucking good too, because if you go D1, you can get drafted out of high school, but if you go D1, you actually have to stay for 3 years in baseball. Whereas if you go straight from high school to JUCO, I think you can get drafted after a season or two.
Yeah, Orioles picked Trendon Craig last year. He was a 1-year JUCO guy, and a lot of those JUCO guys are good enough to play D1, like you're saying, but maybe they don't want to do.
They don't want to stay for 3
years at college. Yeah,
exactly. So that's why baseball is pretty much the only sport I think that JUCO is kind of serious.
Yeah, fucking Pat Dorian played community college baseball his like freshman year of college.
Yeah. So
see where
I mean that's pretty much the same thing, right? Community college and JUCO. What's the difference?
Depends on the like the area. Like some community colleges probably do play JUCO schools, but like some don't. Like Albert Pujols was drafted out of a community college.
Oh, I thought he was an international free agent.
I think he came here from overseas somewhere, or not overseas, but like down in Central America. But he got drafted out of Metropolitan Community College, Maple Woods in Kansas City, Missouri. 13th rounder.
Didn't Bryce Harper get his GED from high school a year early so he could go play JUCO for a year?
Yeah, that's what that Cam Collier kid did.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen too often.
No, it doesn't.
We're off topic.
Very.
Drafts
okay,
for
though.
later.
It happens. It's all good. Well, let's expand on the week that was, guys.
The week that was.
I mean, the O's have not lost since we last recorded.
And they won before that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got to change this. I kept changing the game win streak in the notes based on the days. I started out at 6.
How many of those 7 games did we trail in the 9th inning? At least 3 of them that I can think of. Twice against Texas. And once against the Angels when we were down 4-2 and got 3 straight base hits.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane, man.
Adley, Cedric, and Trey.
Yeah.
And my first thought as soon as that happened is, wow, the Angels are a joke.
Raisel Iglesias isn't a joke, right?
No, he's good. Like
I thought he was pretty good.
Some pretty good numbers. He was really good with the Reds. I think he's regressed a little bit with the Angels. Let me double check.
I guess, but still, it's just bad for baseball that you got Trout and Ohtani are not going to be ever anywhere near the playoffs with that organization. They remind me of the Orioles from 98 to 2011 plus 2 superstars. But other than that, it seems kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty sad to watch, man. Like, I think some beat reporter posted like the lineup or something like that. And it's like, wow, talk about the like most top heavy lineup of all time. It was like Taylor Ward, who's having a great season.
Yeah,
Trout,
Ward's
Ohtani, and nobody.
Ward is actually hitting better OPS wise than Ohtani is.
Yeah, I was there on Saturday, and I had to like do a double take when I saw Ward's 927 OPS.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been tearing it up out of nowhere. He was hurt for a little bit, but not enough to knock him off like qualifying lists and stuff.
Yeah. I ended up going on Sunday because I saw Josh tweet that if you live nearby, you need to go to the games.
Exactly.
That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason I went. So I replied, "Okay," and I went.
That's that's awesome.
I forgot
actually.
you did that. It's like the day later.
Yep.
Yeah, man. But phew,
Yeah, I
what
went
a
with a
fun
buddy.
week.
Went with a buddy of mine who's from Jersey and a Yankees fan, but even he was like, Orioles are playing well right now, and I want to see Trout and Ohtani in person. So he was actually the one that hit me up. He's like, let's go to those game, dude. And he was clapping for the Orioles too. It's like, wow, Bratter, good for you, bro. Good for you, man.
That's pretty cool.
So
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts. The 3 walk-offs in 5 days. We didn't even lead Major League Baseball in walk-offs for the week. The Cincinnati Reds had 4. I can't believe that. That's against the Rays, so that's good for us. But Orioles are now 2 games under 500 going into the series against the Cubs, who are
One game.
Oh, it's
One
1
game.
now. I didn't
Yep.
change that. My bad. 1
2
game under
game-
500.
2 games out of wild card.
Yes. Yeah, I had to
Right?
update
Yeah.
this the following day. I forgot. Against Chicago, who is a worse team than us. So fun week
Now-
potentially ahead here.
They do have I would caution not to count them as wins too quickly because they do have
Oh, I'm not.
some decent pitchers going. They do have the pitching matchup advantages, but yeah, we're definitely a better team.
I'm actually going to look to see who the matchups are right now.
I know we have Lyles and Watkins.
Yep, and they have Sampson, I think, who's got like a 2-something ERA.
I think
And-
Stroman's still rehabbing, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can't remember who's going the second game.
Stroman got lit up
Yeah, he did.
in his rehab start.
So as of right now, it's Lyles versus Sampson, like Brad said. Wednesday is come on. It's probably Watkins. Okay, here we go.
It is Watkins. I know for a fact it's Watkins.
Watkins versus TBD. You got to watch out for that TBD guy. He sneaks out.
Watkins TBD.
Good old TBD. And then they don't have game 3. Oh, there's only 2 games this series. We have another off day
Mhm.
Thursday. This is just killing the momentum. They don't want the O's to succeed, man.
Yep. Killing the vibes, bro.
Yep, the commish is out to get us, baby.
The Comish.
Us against the world. ESPN and MLB hate O's. They hate Baltimore.
I was watching. I saw
That's
like
a
a
fan
clip
comment.
that Buster Olney and Tim Kirchin talking about the Orioles on their podcast today, and they were like, "Tim, this is a town that me and you really have like the fan base. We love them so much and stuff because we started writing there." And I was like, "Oh my God, shut up! You are
Buster-
so fake on the
Well, yeah.
podcast." Bro. Buster Olney and Tim Kirchin. Tim Kirchin doesn't tweet, so he's not really an issue. But Buster Olney saying that they have great love
dude.
for the Orioles fan base, it just made me kind of sick.
He especially hates the Orioles fan base now, with everyone tweeting at him after every single time they win a game.
He gave us this town really deserves this. This town has been waiting for this for so long, which are true statements, but I don't really believe him when he thinks
We don't want to hear them from you.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I could not believe that he said that. I was whatever. We don't really need to. We don't need to talk about him.
No, that kills the vibe right now. We got
good vibes
energy.
only. Good vibes only. Good vibes only. We cannot let Buster bring us down. Absolutely freaking not. So I'm sure you had a blast on Sunday, Brad. It was much more of a butthole clencher for me. Somehow I've been to 2 games now this year with Freddie, who was our guest on the last episode when you weren't here, Brad, but his family has had season tickets at Camden since they opened it, and it's like section 46 row, like I don't know, 8. It's like right above the visiting dugout. Fantastic seats.
Yeah, that's dope.
And a couple times he's had extras. He's invited me. I've went along with him, and both times I've gone, I've seen 1-0 wins.
Hey, you take those.
Yeah, you take them for sure. The first one was the one where Adley scored Mountcastle with the single, and then that was it.
That was when that was the Flow Rida concert night, right?
Yeah,
There you go.
Yep. It was a good time, man. I had fun.
Not bad.
I had fun. Yeah, and yes, you're correct, Josh. They were both Kramer starts.
If only you saw the Young Dylan concert.
So I've in games I've tended with Freddie, not only have I seen 2 1-0 wins, I've seen 11 scoreless from Dean Kramer.
I told you got to keep going.
My dude Dean.
Here to Dean, the Dean, the Dean. How much did you get that auto for?
Which one?
The one you posted the other day. Just the base first Bowman Dean.
The base first Bowman Chrome was less than $10.
Okay.
I think the finest auto was less than $10 too.
Finest usually goes cheaper.
Yeah.
I was wondering if his market had changed at all because I got that out of $4.99 for like $14 like back in the winter.
I'm actually gonna pull eBay up and see if there's any Dean Kramer stonk, but I doubt it.
Dean Kramer stonks.
Yeah.
You know what sucks about this is the only thing that's like kind of irritating about like this whole wild card debate with the Orioles. The Mariners also won 8 games this week, and they have shot
Mariners,
themselves
dude.
up to tied with the 3rd wild card spot with the Blue Jays.
Mariners,
and yeah, that sucks. It's just annoying.
That's part of why it sucks being behind so many teams, but we gained a lot of ground on Tampa Bay, Boston, Toronto, and I guess Cleveland too. So
We passed Cleveland. They're
We
2-8
did
in
pass
their
Cleveland.
last 10.
and we passed Chicago too. So the fact that one team stayed hot with us and we gained on everybody else, I'll take that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
man.
we could win another 8 in a row and Tampa Bay might win 7 out of 8 in that stretch or something like that.
I guess the
But
good
everyone else
trade-off.
did.
The good trade-off is that the Jays have lost 9 out of their last 10, and that the Rays are 5-5 over their last 10, and the Sox lost 6 games out of their last 10. So I mean,
Exactly.
it's a good trade-off.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So when you're chasing so many teams, one of them is bound to get hot at the same time as you. That's why it's just important, especially with this many games left, to gain on as many teams as you can, really, even if they're not necessarily the ones holding the wild card at a certain time. If they're ahead of you, you got to pass them at some point.
Yeah, let's just schedule more games for the West Coast because we swept the Rangers and the Angels. Let's just keep those going.
I'd be down to play the Angels all the time.
Yep, me too. Josh, there is no Dean Kramer stonk.
No Dean Kramer stunk.
Literally none.
Sad.
Same prices as before. That's good though, because I found a couple of Dean autos that I didn't even know existed.
Like what?
So in I guess it was 2021, they did the 1952, which had the little box, and then they did the printed on autos.
Yeah, those are cool.
There is a Dean Kramer one of those from Chrome, but it actually is autoed.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I just want to see that.
Yeah, I can just screen share really quick.
See, I'd like you to screen share it, but my computer's currently doing something. I don't know there's a loading thing in the middle, but you can still hear me, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So no screen share.
No, because I can't see you anymore.
Just go on eBay and search Dean Kramer auto. You'll see.
I found it. Yeah, that's pretty clean.
Yeah.
I like.
He looks so
those.
goofy with short hair though. Like I'm so used to seeing him with his long hair now. I don't like.
I want the locks back. I don't like the man bun.
The man bun is goofy looking.
The locks just fit him too well.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Oh. Dean Kramer, gold label, gold framed auto, 99 cents.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine buying a box of gold label and you pull a gold framed Dean Kramer.
Somebody out there.
You're
killed
not a nose
themselves
fan.
Their wife had to post that because they killed themselves.
Oh my God. Oh, I would be so upset.
You can buy a Sapphire Kramer rookie auto for like $12.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. I bought a Mountcastle rookie debut Sapphire for like $6. Half of a Kramer.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. I won an auction.
Ooh, orange refractor out of 25 of that 1952 auto. That's a good one.
Very nice.
Okay. All right. This is not a card buying podcast.
Off air.
All right. Yeah, I got a little distracted. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Bob's out there listening somewhere. He understands.
Yeah, Bob's loving this part right now. Shout out to Bob.
Bob's on eBay in the other tab right now.
Yeah. Bob's like in the middle of like delivering someone's mail, and he's just like stopped and is like looking at his phone, like, "Oh shit!"
At an intersection.
Oh, I was thinking he was like walking and like in
Oh.
somebody's yard, like with the sack, and just like scrolling. People are waiting for their mail, but Bob's buying cards.
Where do you think Bob gets the cards? The mail.
That's true.
No
Very
worries,
true.
guys. It's giving me more time to pull up player stats for minor league updates for later. So we're good. Keep talking about cards for a bit.
We do have another part I added on here. Maybe important to talk about because we never really talk about the manager situation on here. We always just talk about like the team in general. We never like talk about Hyde necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think right now? Like with Hyde, the way he's handled this team this season, like I think managers just get handed lineups like literally every single day from the GM anymore. But
Yes.
thoughts on Brandon Hyde, I guess is what I'm asking.
I couldn't care less.
I'm in the same boat, and I hate that we all agree on this because it could make for a reasonable debate. But yeah, I find manager to be the most irrelevant head coaching position in all sports. I think I could be managing the Orioles right now, and it would be no different. I really do. I mean, either they get handed a lineup card or the lineup card essentially writes itself anyway. There is a difference between a good manager and a bad manager. Some people will be like, "Oh, well, what about that one time the manager left the guy in too long?" Yes, okay. Sometimes managers make the wrong decisions. They say over the course of a 162 game season, a great manager might add 4 or 5 wins, and a terrible one might add 4 or 5 losses. So I largely don't really give a shit. I think Hyde's fine. It's not his fault that he has some scrub infielders on his roster that he has to have in the lineup. So, yeah. And I don't want to say that as if Elias is doing a bad job either. I just don't necessarily agree with some of the roster construction right now, but overall, he's doing a great job too. So, yeah, I don't really get. I'm pretty indifferent towards Hyde. I don't give a fuck if he stays. I don't give a fuck if he goes. He's a face. That's pretty much what he is.
I think any manager that has the respect of I think it's more important as a baseball manager. This does not apply to any other sports, but with baseball, the most important thing you can do as a manager is have the respect of your guys.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as those guys like you and they'll run through a wall for you, does not matter.
I guess I would say an example of a manager that players don't appear to respect would be Tony La Russa with the White Sox. And that may or may not be a contributing factor to why they're underachieving this year. I don't know. I can't say that it is. I can't say that it isn't. But there certainly seems to be a dark cloud hanging over the White Sox right now. And they're a very talented team. So maybe there could be something to it with that. I don't think anything like that applies to Brandon Hyde, though.
I mean, I think La Russa was doomed in Chicago. Before he even managed a game, like with all the DUI rumors and stuff, they were talking like about how he's too old to literally connect with his team and stuff like that. Like with that was all already out there
with young Latin ball players.
Yeah, that was all already out in the media, like before he even stepped on a baseball field in the White Sox uniform. So that's maybe a little different situation where like the reputation precedes him. Like the White Sox owner had some weird quotes about like, I wish I hired him in the 1980s and I'm making it right now. And it's like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't know what that is. As far as Hyde goes, I think I differ a little bit from you guys, but I'm probably just a little farther like positive, just a little bit farther. Like I like Hyde. I think he does have the respect of his clubhouse, like you're talking about. He's watched guys like Jorge Lopez become what they are. He saw Jorge when he was at his lowest. He sees him now. They've been together for that whole span of time where Jorge has grown into what he is. But if in 2 years and maybe the Orioles perform like, 500 ball next year or something like that, or maybe just a little better than that, if they were to tap on Buck Britton's shoulder and say, hey, would you like to lead this team? I wouldn't really have a problem with that either.
Yeah. Like I don't care. Like I like Hyde. He's as long as I continue to see that he has the love and respect of the clubhouse, I don't care.
Yeah.
If he starts to lose it, which I don't see that happening anytime soon, but if he starts to lose it and they want to make a change, you get a fresh face in, that's fine. But like I said, my overall point is that I don't care as long as those guys would run through a wall for you. It doesn't matter to me. And you can tell that they would all run through a brick wall for Brandon Hyde.
Yeah, I can see that, especially now with like the old guard still kind of here, like between like Mancini, Mullins, Hayes, like those guys, like until those guys are kind of outnumbered per se, by like say the guys like Gunnar Henderson, Kobe Mayo, Westberg, the guys who came up with Buck Britton in the system and the other like coaching staff that's around them. Justin Ramsey's another one of those guys. That would maybe be a kind of point of contention where it's like, now we have all new faces in here who haven't been with Hyde through the bad years, and maybe they will want something new. But until then,
right,
not really something we need to worry about, I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with the way things are right now.
Yeah, let's
at
least praise him for what's going on right now. And I mean, he certainly has the respect like we're talking about, and seems to be a good guy at the helm for this current situation.
Yeah, those guys love him, and
yeah,
as long as that continues to be the case, I'm fine.
Yeah. All right, we got some rumors there, Ryan. Would you like to talk about?
I would love to, because this got me a little hot and bothered earlier when I saw this. Let me see here. Perfect. I love Twitter sometimes. Perfect. It just came right up, like right when I needed it. So this is a blog post from MLB.com shared by my dude Brian at BMoreSports8 on Twitter. He's a good follow. It's just like a general blog post where John Morosi and Mark Feinsand are kind of just giving their takes on different topics, and the O's recent hot streak has, found them. They've been quite a talking point lately in the national baseball media, which has been pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain and do the whole like gatekeeping thing that some people are doing, but because I just welcome the attention. I think it's great.
I had to take a step back the other day.
Hold up.
What's up?
So somebody who's like Twitter stupid, what do you mean by the gatekeeping thing?
Like just gatekeeping in the sense of like, oh, well, now they're talking about it. It's just like, yeah, because they're what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, of course.
I'm saying some people, instead of welcoming this like positive attention, are like, well, they were talking shit before, they're not talking shit now.
It's like, yeah, been talking shit
because there was a lot of reasons to talk shit. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to welcome.
For example, Brad, I was once told I wasn't a good enough Orioles fan because I didn't remember Josh Hader being traded from the Orioles, even though I was like 12.
Okay.
And Twitter was not a thing at the time, so I was told I wasn't a good enough Orioles fan.
Yes, that kind of gatekeeping. That's what we mean.
That's
what
toxic.
Yes.
I will say Twitter was a thing at the time, but
and you definitely weren't 12 years old. But we get what you're saying.
I get the point. Yeah.
He was trading 2012?
No, yeah, you might have been 12. Yeah, but Twitter was a thing.
No.
What's up?
No, because we traded him for Bud Norris. That was in
2014. Yeah.
Okay, I was 14 and also didn't have Twitter.
Okay, so close enough. God, I forget how young you are sometimes.
I'm the same year. I'm the same age as the year.
It's because you look
late of the year.
Me too.
It's because you look 30.
I look.
All right, guys. Tangents. Rein it in.
Look at the host doing his job, getting everybody reached.
Yeah, this is my segment. You guys are ruining it.
Let's go. Hey, shut up and let's go.
Okay, got it. John Morosi, the Orioles could also, quote unquote, buy a longer term asset that helps them now and in the future. In that way, I think the familiar buyer or seller designations don't always apply. Take a team like the Guardians, for example. They've shown many times in the past they can move veterans and still compete. Don't care about that. What I care about is Mark Feinsand saying there's been a lot of chatter about the Orioles trying to deal for Pablo Lopez. I'm not saying the Marlins are going to trade Lopez, but that's the type of player I could see Baltimore adding. A team like the Orioles isn't going to be dealing with rentals, that's for sure. So overall, what do we feel about this? What are we willing to give up in a now seemingly less hypothetical trade for Pablo Lopez?
I like it a lot, Ryan. He's a guy. We talked about it before the show. 2.5 more years of control. He'll be a free agent 2025. His ERA this year is under 3, ERA plus 143. His whip is sitting right at 1.071. His walk to strikeout ratio is very good. Very effective pitcher. His chase rate's in the 90th percentile. And like I said, you get that 2.5 more years of control. He's only 26 years old. Seems to be able to stay healthy. At least gives you 100 and some innings every year so far. And he just gets better with every year based on his baseball reference page. So, I mean, great trade piece for the Orioles to get. The question is, what do they give up? I think, like we've talked about in the past on here for pitching, the price is usually a little bit higher. And I think a guy like Kauser or Westberg may be someone that they look at to be a majority of the value in a trade like that. Maybe one of the bullpen arms in the majors goes with him. And I mean, I don't know if that's quite enough to get it done. Maybe if it's like Kauser and Felix Bautista or something, they accept that, but it might be different based on the package. But I think that would be like maybe enough, and I would accept that as enough because
I don't know. I don't know if I do that.
Which one, Kauser or Westberg with Bautista?
I'll drive Kauser to Miami myself. But I don't care about I this might be such a dumb thing to say, but I don't think I don't think Felix Bautista should be traded at all.
I'm just more bullish on relievers because of how like volatile they are. And like Bautista literally came out of nowhere. And yeah, he's a stud this year. And I'd love for him to stay as an Oriole for as long as we can keep him effective. But bullpen arms are usually very easy to come by, especially with the Orioles seemingly having a cheating lab this year. I don't know. He's like what, 27 years old, 26?
I'm not sure.
Something 27. Like that. Yeah, I want to say 27.
I just don't think that's like an untouchable asset, I guess.
He shouldn't be. I'm probably letting my heart get too into this. So he just, I don't know.
It's a good story, man.
I just don't want to. I don't want to trade him right now.
Understandable.
I really don't.
Brad, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, Kauser was also the name that was popping into my head too, and
I think Kauser is like the baseline prospect that everyone is like to start any trade package that we're talking about right now. Is like starts with Colton Kauser. Yeah, it starts with Colton Kauser.
It was Westberg until like middle of the year this year.
Now I will say I feel like Ryan probably dislikes Kauser more than we do. Am I wrong in saying that, or do you just think he's the perfect?
I don't dislike Colton Kauser at all. I just think he's a good trade asset.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, especially with how deep our outfield is on the farm, and which we'll get into later. We could potentially be drafting another outfielder, number 1 overall. Maybe not. We don't know that yet.
Yep.
But yeah, he's certainly a piece that could be considered for trading for pitching. So I would say Kauser, but would it also cost us a DL Hall, and would it be worth it at that point?
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
I would probably go as far as Kauser and Jorge Lopez, but it would be tough. But I think I'd probably consider for that.
You said Kauser, Jorge Lopez.
Yeah,
I'd do that.
I'd do that too.
Yeah, you selling high on a hot relief pitcher. I think Jorge Lopez is having a nice year. I don't think it's something he's gonna. I mean, he's even fallen off a bit lately. I don't think it's something he's going to really sustain for years to come.
Yep, I do that.
Yeah.
And the market has always seemed to be hot for the "what have you done for me lately" relievers.
Like, yeah, so, the current hot thing reliever.
The current thing. Yeah,
always,
right, exactly.
Always.
Relievers
Dude.
at the deadline. I think the Orioles would be foolish not to move one of their top relief arms this year because they literally all came out of nowhere for the most part, and like relievers are very hot at the deadline.
Do you think they could get something of like a substantial value for like CNL Perez?
I believe they could get maybe like a top 10 organizational prospect. Maybe that's a little steep. Depending on the organization, you can maybe pull a top 10 because Perez has literally been like unhittable this year. Like his whip is kind of high and his FIP's kind of high, but like he gets
he's also been vastly overachieving too. So yeah, I would definitely be glad to get even a top 20 prospect for CNL Perez, but I don't know if that's reasonable or not.
Perez has like better numbers than Lopez this year in some ways. Like his ERA is 0.96, his ERA plus is double of Jorge Lopez's. I mean,
it's
somewhat
weird.
like we're talking about. The hot arm it demands
Orioles-
the value, and Sionel
Orioles
Perez is
cheating
a very
lab.
hot arm.
Orioles cheating lab is a real fucking thing, dude.
But who do you
3
guys
earned
think?
runs.
Who do you guys think by himself would have more value on the trade market? Jorge Lopez or Batista?
Batista, because he's young and throws very hard.
And he
Sionel
throws
Perez
hard. Yeah,
doesn't
I
throw
think-
that hard.
I mean,
no,
Cieno Perez is 26. So
No, I'm not talking about Perez because I think they both have more value than.
Are you talking about Jorge?
Perez. I'm talking about Jorge Lopez.
Okay.
and, Felix Batista. Did I say Perez?
We were talking about Perez, so I kind of
All
just assumed that's what you meant.
No. I think both of them have a lot more value than Perez.
Okay. Perez's baseball savant is awful.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying he's overachieving.
He's a relief version of Spencer Watkins right now.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he's getting the outs right now, and it's kind of like the Paul Fry situation last year, where they would really be well advised to move somebody who's performing this well for this long. Like 3 earned runs over like 30 some innings. Like that's pretty nuts.
Right. Instead of ending up having to DFA and for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we all on this trade Sionel train?
I don't want to be because I like him, but yes, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah, hell yeah. If we got something for him, I would take him.
I don't want to make the same mistake that we made with Paul Fry last year. Same thing with Cole Sulzer last year.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that if Perez got traded, Elias probably isn't trading him for some middling 26-year-old batting 250 in Double-A that's been there for 5 years. It's never going to be anything. He would, if anything, take a chance on somebody younger that has maybe a chance of panning out down the line, but isn't necessarily the highest rated at the moment. So,
you know, a team that just traded recently, in my opinion, maybe overpaid a little bit, but they often go after relievers at the deadline pretty hard. That's the Atlanta Braves. I think they just like sign people in the offseason like that are like waiver claims, kind of like what we did with Perez, but they will get guys at the deadline as well. They would maybe give up more than they should for Perez. I don't know, because they're going to make a World Series push again this year. I'm just kind of spitballing teams, but I think
Josh, did we talk about this on the pod, or is it just something that you and I discussed over text? The Khalil Watson situation?
Just you and I talked about that.
Just you and me. Okay. It just got shared in the group chat. More details from the Khalil Watson situation. This is from a Marlins minor league Twitter account at Marlins Minors. This will be an extended absence. All decisions have been internal, nothing from the league. Wouldn't be surprised at all if Marlins aggressively shop him at the trade deadline. Can also confirm that Watson remains away from the team and facility entirely.
What's with the Marlins pushing players away? They did the same thing with Jazz Chisholm kind of this year. Not the same thing.
They had a meeting so that all the players could tell Jazz how much they hate him.
To be fair,
So
kind
weird.
of based on some of the
Very
stories I've heard, like with the machine gun thing and like just them saying he's kind of irritable to be around, maybe the Watson thing is like more on him than it is on the team, but I don't know.
Yeah. He's a 19-year-old kid, though.
Right. Exactly. Who's struggling in his like first real test in pro baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's an interesting point. Until it's like rumored that the Orioles are interested, I don't know how.
Oh, I'm not saying that. It's just something I knew you and I had talked about it. So I just wanted to bring it up really quick.
That's a very interesting point, though. Like they just drafted him last year, and he fell down the boards quite a bit from where he was projected to go. So I wonder if like there's a little more to that story, which there definitely is.
Yeah, definitely is.
I mean, 19 years old. He's in he's an A ball hitting 646 OPS. I mean, he was a very highly regarded prospect out of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, didn't some pick him top 5? Like
MLB Pipeline had him at number 4, I think.
Yeah.
What a future the Marlins have in their outfield with Khalil Watson and Victor Mesa.
Watson's a shortstop, I think.
Oh, sorry. I thought he was an outfielder.
Nah, he was one of the many prep shortstops that were talked about last year.
Well, I just blew that one.
It's okay. Because you know why? They do currently have a future because you left out future stud JJ Bleday.
He's better than fucking Victor Mason, though.
I know.
Bade is redeeming himself this year.
He's having a decent year in
He had a
AAA.
terrible year last year, but he was playing against Norfolk the other day. I was watching him. His stats are pretty good.
Hey, speaking of terrible years, just real quick, want to give a shout out to my guy Brett Phillips, rocking his 465 OPS. Anyways, back to what we were talking about.
All right.
I have it. I have his page up right now, and I just had to throw that in. So.
I was
God.
bitching to Ryan before we started recording. I got a Bleacher Report notification. Brett Phillips lays out for a diving snag.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, I actually, that's why I pulled his page up, because MLB.com had the highlight playing for Phillips' amazing catch. So I pulled his page back up. I was like, he's got to be hitting better, right? Because there's no way he'd still have a job. No, he's gotten worse.
What do you guys think his OPS plus is this year?
I mean,
61
I have it in front of my face, so I'm not going to answer it.
Okay, Ryan.
His OPS plus.
I've never seen one this low for a qualified hitter.
Oh my God.
Kind of hilarious.
15.
38, but that's 70% worse than your average. I think Jackie Bradley Jr. might have been worse last year, but let me see. He played like 150 games or something.
Why does he only have 4 categories on his savant percentiles?
Baseball Savant's weird. Like
Yeah.
like 2 weeks into the season, they had him for like every player. But if you're not a qualified hitter now, they don't necessarily put you on there.
Okay. Because on this, he's in the 90th percentile in 3 of these categories, and it's making him look good, and I don't like it.
They're fudging numbers. They want him to look good. I think he knows something, so the MLB's kind of
2 of them are defensive categories. So like
And
sprints. Well, I guess you could call that a defensive category too. Yeah, it's sprint speed, outs above average, and outfielder jump.
And max exit velo is so dumb. I wish they didn't even put that on here, like on any Savant page, because I look at it and like I'll see like
Just see something red. It's like it's Jorge Mateo's only red percentile.
Like you could get into
his Savant
99 on one singular at bat, and I just don't think that's
true.
That's misleading.
Yeah, because even if you only hit one ball all season, if you don't barrel shit, but you hit 110, you're like instantly like 95th percentile.
Yeah,
on barrel rate.
I'd be interested to see it for everybody, but I wouldn't put it in the same weighted category as everything else.
They should put it down with the rest of the advanced stats that they don't.
I think
put in the StatCast stats.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting footnote, but not necessarily an important one.
Josh Mateo has dropped into 78th percentile on max exit velo.
Is that his only red still?
Of offensive categories, yes.
99 sprint speed, though, baby.
He is 99 sprint speed, and he is 94 outs above average.
Rylan Bannon with that 9th percentile exit view.
Ooh, he's got 10 bombs.
Yes.
How's he in the 9th percentile with 10 bombs?
It only does major league.
It's just his major league stats, yes.
Oh, well, that makes sense. You have 14 fucking at-bats. Let's calm down here.
Yeah, Brad, I'm messing with you a little bit.
Yeah, come on now. Let's calm down.
Both of you guys, as long as Josh, you don't have Mateo's Savant page up, what percentile do you think Mateo's in K rate?
2nd.
You're close. 4th.
Damn.
4th
Damn.
percentile. I know. You're really close. Average exit velo?
8.
12.
Man's
look,
bad.
With percentage.
Jeez, like 4.
5. You're so close, dude. I can't believe
Right
you're
on
missing these. I know.
I do want to revisit our group chat conversation from the other day. Please, yeah, I'm still taking Mateo over Andrew Velasquez all day, every day.
I was surprised to see their Savant numbers were very similar in that they are essentially worth the same on defense. It's just that Mateo can hit bombs and Andrew Velasquez cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Mateo's come very few and far between.
And Mateo, while he can't hit, he's still like a better version of Velasquez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're about the same sprint speed, though. Like defensively, they are about the same. But yeah, it's just the bomb potential that Mateo has.
All right, last one from Jorge's Savant page before I stop clowning on him. X is expected weighted on base, or X WOBA.
I'm thinking it's pretty bad if you had to throw in an extra one. I'm gonna go 3rd.
4th.
Dude. Oh man.
One more. Hard hit percentage.
6.
7. How do you keep missing them by 1? Oh my god, that's so fun. Okay, we'll stop.
Can you tell I spend
Jorge.
way too much time checking Baseball Savant?
I
literally hit
get
up Baseball Reference every single day to just see how much one game performance of worth of WAR, just to see. Ryan McKenna gained half a win last week. 0.8.
his average is so much higher than I would ever expect it to be.
McKenna?
Yeah, he's got like a respect. If you just look at his average in like a vacuum, I mean, he's batting like 250.
244.
Yeah.
If he walked at the same rate he was last year, he'd be like a pretty capable hitter, but he's just not.
Yes, he would.
His on base was still under 300.
But alas.
Come on, Ryan. I'm really pulling for you. He had a good week. We won one of those Angels games because of his infield single.
Of course. I don't know if it's just the team winning, but I'm less militant about firing him into the sun. Just him. I'm still very annoyed by every time I see Jorge Mateo bat, but like I'm just less, like I said, less militant about wanting Ryan McKenna off this team as soon as possible. I just
Brad,
I'm not as
it's
on the back burner for me now.
I've slowly fallen into like the mad state you are about Arauz, because like Taron Vavra comes back from injury, right? And he's like performing well still, right? They claim Arauz from the Red Sox and he's still on the major league roster.
Yeah.
Listen, agree or disagree with, I mean, most people disagree with me that Ryland Bannon is worth anything at all, but I'm sorry. I have a hard time believing that he's not a better player than Jonathan Arauz.
I just don't know what the difference is, I guess.
Yeah.
The
difference is Bannon has a career minor league OPS like 120 points higher. I mean, that's a difference, I guess.
No, I'll tell you what it is. It's because Elias had Arauz in Houston, and we have to re-pick up every single Houston waiver claim that we can.
Yes.
Jacob Nottingham, Sinel Perez, Arauz, Jordan Lyles. There's just so many.
Oh my God, yeah.
We had a few last year that aren't here anymore, and I probably forgot, but there's a lot. Not that Perez didn't work out.
Okay, even if we're not even talking from the Bannon standpoint, which obviously I'm a Bannon fan. Yeah, Vavra. I mean, our AAA infield is fucking loaded while we have all these fucking losers up here right now. I think you guys probably like Arias a little bit more than I do, but I think he's kind of a fucking bum too.
This year has made me less high on him because he's been like really inconsistent. But I still like Urias, but if he's not here in 2 years, I don't care.
I don't get upset seeing him in the lineup, but that's about as much as I can say.
Yeah, I like seeing him more than like Odor and like Nevin, but not much.
Yeah, Arias, Odor, Nevin, Arauz, Mateo. Our infield is such dog shit, bro.
Bro, so Arauz doesn't like walk at all. I don't think he's walked since like 2020. Vavra in AAA is almost 1-to-1 for his walk to K ratio, 27-32. Isn't that what they look for? Isn't that what they want to see?
Yeah.
So
the other thing that I don't get about the holding back of the seeming holding back of Vavra is he's an Elias guy. He traded for him.
Yeah, and he's 25.
With Bannon, you can say like, he's not an Elias guy. So there's like an assumed bias against him, I guess, just because he's not his dude. But like Vavra is his dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's hit at every single level in the minors. They called Tyler Nevin up with no problem. So that kind of goes to he's an Elias guy point. But I just don't get it, man. He gets injured, I guess. But like, if they think he's healthy, if they don't think he's healthy, he wouldn't be playing, and he is playing. So I don't know, man.
Yeah,
people use the term 4A players to describe guys who are too good for AAA and too shitty for the big leagues. So examples obviously being guys like McKenna, DJ Stewart, so on and so forth. Kelvin Gutierrez. Yep, there you go. Jonathan Arauz is not a 4A player. He's dog shit in AAA too.
Velasquez. That was the Velasquez.
He's Arauz is like a AA.5 player.
He's never had a OPS above 700 except his combined season in 2019 between high A and double A. And he was 707.
And when he was between A and high A, it was 678. So I'm not even convinced he would be like a great double A player either. Probably be a serviceable double A player.
Yeah.
He'd be like the
frustrating topic.
He'd be like the journeyman that we don't really have anybody that can play second Jonathan, so that's ready to be moved up from A ball. So you can spend half a season on our team until we figure something else out in double A. That's what Jonathan is.
Guys, we're killing the good vibes.
We are killing the good vibes.
The good vibes are good. So in order to bring back the good vibes, I ask you this, Mr. Josh.
Yes.
Have you taken a quick gander at Ryan Mountcastle's Savant page lately?
It is very good.
Yeah.
It is incredible. It's like we thought he was kind of killing it last year, and some of the stats haven't quite caught up to last year, but it's significantly better than last year in almost every category.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at it right now, but it's very good.
Average. So every category that involves like the way he puts the ball in play, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Nothing
to do with strikeouts or chasing.
Right. He is 90th percentile or more in all of them.
The fact he's not being talked about to be in the home run derby is kind of sad to me because, like,
it's very sad.
He is the mold of a guy who would just dominate in that, except we have to watch like 43-year-old Albert Pujols do it.
Yeah, and then we have to watch Pete Alonso, who will inevitably hit some kid in the head and then just sit there and vibe to the song that he picked out while that kid is like being carted off with a concussion.
After last year, I don't want to watch him. Like, that was so bad.
He's in it again, so you're gonna watch him again.
I know he is. Soto's in it. I saw that, but
Acuna Jr.'s in it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I'll probably root for Acuna.
Unless Soto, so I'll probably root Soto.
Unless we like find out that Mountcastle does get added, which I'll lose my shit if he does.
I just don't know if he has the home run numbers this year to get in, but like everything else says he would be very good.
He's got
last year.
Yeah, but what would his home run numbers be if he played for somebody else? It's
a great thing that I have Baseball Savant up because I can tell you exactly.
Thank you. That's key right there.
If he played for the Reds, he would have 23 home runs.
There you go.
Jeez. I know that's a tiny ballpark, but it's insane
Angels,
that he can do that.
Angels 18, Houston 21, but we know that because they have Yankee stadiums, right field and left field. 15 with Oakland, 16 with Seattle, 17 with Texas, 16.
It's got to be us.
Boston. No. Boston, Cleveland, good. KC. Oh, no, Detroit, 12.
Yeah, because he just hits piss missiles, so anything in Boston's just going to
blind your eyes.
Mm-hmm. Anything in Boston's just going to hit the monster. Kaufman, 13. Cleveland, 13. 18.
Cleveland's interesting because it's like not very big.
Another 13 in San Francisco. Another 13 with the Mets. Yeah, 23 in Cincinnati. Let's see, last year. Would he have hit 40 anywhere else last year? No.
I don't think so because Camden was still friendly to hitters.
Yeah, Camden was still small then. Actually, hold on.
It is adjusted for this year because Isaac Paredes would have like one home run if he played at Camden. But he has like 10.
That's funny. He would 36 at Cincinnati last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, I think as I can remember, I think the wall's taken like 2 from him.
Yeah, he hasn't really been that affected by it. Like he has the ability to like go oppo or gap to gap pretty well, and like that's something I really like about him is he's not tied to hitting left field bombs only.
Yep. I mean, dude, he went into the Utah Street bleachers a couple weeks ago, like 425.
Yeah, that was a piss missile.
Oppo, like just got on top of a high fastball and just absolutely demolished it.
Put him in the derby. Let him show off.
Seriously, please put him in the derby.
Dude. That'd be so fun.
Yeah,
him out there with Soto and Acuna, like it'd be his first like time in like the big stage.
Yeah,
I mean, how many be an all-star? It's really hard to be an all-star.
How many people even know Ryan Mountcastle?
Dude,
honestly?
I was literally about to say the same thing. We would be super excited about it. And most of the casual fans across MLB would be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, I actually agree. I did not think about it until just now, but yeah, who even knows about Ryan Mountcastle?
I used to listen to Talking Baseball a lot more, but like anytime they'd bring up Mountcastle, they'd always say it as like a matter of fact thing. They'd be like, and Ryan Mountcastle on the Orioles hit 2 bombs this weekend.
Right.
Yeah,
as if he's some, breakout prospect and not at one point the O's number 1 prospect.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he was the AAA like player of the year internationally,
International
as a
League player of the year.
22-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Insane.
Drafted ever since he was drafted. They knew his bat was going to play at the major league level. Like he's not Akil Baddoo in the first week of, whatever that was, 2020, 2019.
Aristides Aquino.
Yeah.
Right.
Or a better example, that dude from Yerman Mercedes. He's not Yerman Mercedes.
Oh, yeah.
He's stuck around now for over 2 seasons too. And he's the track record proves it's
how many?
I am having an aneurysm.
More than is Ryan Mountcastle the starting first baseman on more than half the teams in Major League Baseball?
I say yes. Without looking at depth charts, I would say so.
Off the top of my head, I'd have to say yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Detroit, I guess, do they start Miguel Cabrera there?
They start Torkelson, and he's bad.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, yeah, fuck Torkelson. Kansas City, 100%.
Ryan
Pittsburgh, 100%. Miami.
Not a Daniel Vogelbach fan. Wow.
I think they start Chavis over there.
Oh,
I think I'm skinnier than Vogelbach. No bullshit.
Did you see the picture of Vogelbach and Tellez staying next to each other?
2 absolute units, dude. Holy shit.
There's another team he would start on.
Miami. He starts in Miami Boston.
Who's over there? Jorge Alfaro in Miami.
Yeah. Who's Boston's first baseman? Dahlbeck can't hit for shit.
This year, no.
Tampa, he's better than G-Man. Not by much, but he's better than G-Man.
He's better than Diaz, too, and they play him over there.
For sure.
Are we going down the
line? I'm literally, so Savant has all the games going on at the top, and I'm just literally just going through the teams that are playing right now.
They would start Jose Abreu.
Mm-hmm. Cleveland, that's J Ram, right? Or is he third?
He's at third. Cleveland's first baseman is, I think it's Owen Miller.
Okay, so yes. Philly, he definitely starts at first for Philly. St. Louis probably is not starting.
Schmidt is the best
starting him over Goldie.
baseball.
Yeah, it's definitely not happening. The Mets, of course, he's starting there. Atlanta
over Pete Alonso.
Okay, Pete Alonso was erased from my brain for a second there. So yes, sorry.
Are you thinking Dominic Smith?
I'm thinking they don't have a first baseman that I know about, but
JD
yes,
Davis.
But you're totally right. Yeah, it's obviously Pete Alonso. Atlanta, they just got Matt Olson. He's probably there. Oakland, of course.
Nobody.
Texas, of course.
Nathaniel Lowe.
San Diego. I think
Hosmer. He's better than Hosmer.
Of course, he's better than Hosmer. Colorado, of course.
CJ Cron is actually having a great year, but they brought even, I would say.
Yeah. Arizona.
Jake McCarthy, maybe.
San Francisco.
No, Pavin Smith or Christian Walker. Christian Walker's having a good year.
Christian Walker's having a good year. I still think
since you guys just mentioned Oakland, is Billy Beane an overrated GM?
Yes.
Is he even still their GM?
He's like the president of baseball ops as well.
Wow. Okay.
He got like a promotion. He was going to leave, so they promoted him.
That's right. Well, of course, it's at the end of Moneyball. He interviews with the Red Sox.
I knew that. 2 years ago, he was going to leave.
I was kidding. I know.
Okay.
I was going to go on a Moneyball rant, but I've already done that on here before. So if anybody wants to hear it, go back to whichever one of the description talks about baseball movies.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, good luck finding that.
Find it, asshole, and help us with our download numbers from like a year ago.
Probably like episode 13 or something.
Yeah, something like that. You guys can find it though. You'll do all right.
It's one of them. But I think we can conclude Ryan Mountcastle probably starts over half on half the teams. Probably a little bit more than half. I'd give him like top 10 first baseman in baseball.
Yeah, definitely. And his prospects report isn't that good either.
No, it wasn't. He was not like regarded as an elite hitter. He was just like a
No.
power first guy.
His hit, he has a 55 period hit tool. They gave him a 45 game power.
Really?
So raw power is 60.
He really didn't hit that many bombs in the minors. Like he wasn't like not in the way that we see him now in the majors. Like he hit more as a Oriole last year than he ever did in the minor league seasons.
Yeah.
Like in Delmarva, I think he hit like 11 in a full season or something like that.
Which is pretty awesome. Like just all of a
had
sudden being this like mammoth power hitter.
He's got that dog in him.
He was also probably what 18 years old when he was in Delmarva. So
Probably.
that's probably why.
Yeah, high school shortstop.
Yeah.
From high school shortstop to top 10 major league first baseman.
If he was a shortstop who played like MLB average defense, he would be like one of those like rising stars, like a Bichette type, the way they talk about him. But
oh yeah,
he just has a dick arm, man. He has a dick arm.
Yeah, he does.
I
watched him play third at Bowie, and it was
it stood out to me before I knew that it was a knock on him. Like I noticed without seeing the scouting report that his arm sucked. Every ground ball at him was a bang bang play at first base, even like a routine one. So I was like, what? I was like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, even like balls that are hard hit right at him that you would think, he should have the ball out before the guy's a quarter of the way up the line. They were way closer than
and
they should have been.
Even for me as a defense doesn't matter kind of guy, even I was just like, I don't think we can play him.
Well, I mean, even you and I, who have long beaten the defense doesn't matter drum, we are saying that with the caveat that like as long as you are at least
right
capable making the routine plays, we don't care. We are only saying we don't care if you're an outstanding defender as long as you can. If you can't hit, we don't care.
Oh, absolutely. Fuck the glove first guys with their 600 OPS and below.
Yeah.
With Mountcastle, I would watch I used to watch these I'm not going to say I used to watch them. I watched it one time. His prep scouting videos and stuff like that when he was at like Perfect Game. And
you sent me that.
Yeah, they just hit him the ground balls, and like you'll see a lot of these like prep high school shortstops who like are really athletic and they're like jumping all over the field and they're like really charging ground balls. Mountcastle did not. It's like even then he's like, I'm not going to be a fucking shortstop.
Yeah. Josh, do you follow MLB Barrel Alert on Twitter?
I do, yeah.
Austin Riley is tormenting Max Scherzer.
How so?
I think he just hit another bomb off of him.
That guy can't. He's kind of nut job too. Really nice third baseman to have.
Who, Riley?
Austin Riley, yeah. He was going to be a bust if it wasn't for last year.
Over the last 6 minutes, we have had 3 barrels off of Max Scherzer by Braves.
Wow.
A 385-foot flyout from Dansby Swanson, a 111.6 mile per hour, 417-foot bomb from Austin Riley, and 112 mile an hour, 278-foot double from Marcell Ozuna.
My gosh. They let Ozuna play again?
Yeah. Yeah.
MLB is funny, man.
I know. Yeah, I think
dude, that's all pro sports. Like if you can produce, you can get away with
genuinely
a lot.
I mean, I know neither of you guys watch hockey, but like there's this guy, Evander Kane.
I saw this.
Decent player. I mean, his wife posts a lot on Instagram of like her face after he beats her. Like it's sickening. Genuinely.
I saw someone post something about that.
And it's free agency's opening tomorrow, and everyone's just like, "Where will Evander Kane sign?" It's like,
Deshaun Watson has what 26 sexual assault cases against him.
Yeah. It just asked the Cleveland fans. He settled. It means they didn't happen.
They were just massage people.
And the Browns are just like, all right, yeah, okay. When is it going to play?
You can have the keys to the city.
We are going to purposely structure his deal so that he has a tiny cap hit because we know he probably won't play this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he has like a $2 million cap hit this year. They like completely his whole contract is like backloaded because they know he probably won't play this year. I mean, that's
Think about
Crazy.
some of the guys who like weren't that big in names, like Starlin Castro and Addison Russell was, I believe, another one who like they got the abuse allegations out. They were gone just like
Yep.
that. But Ozuna can come back a year later. Chapman can come back a year later. Severino, I don't know if Severino was. I don't want to throw his name if he's not. But
Now, I do want to point something else out on this topic. Not that we're a football podcast, but since we are covering a Baltimore team, a lot of people say that Ray Rice was blackballed out of the NFL because of his domestic abuse thing. And that's just completely not true at all. He didn't get a chance again after that because his last year in Baltimore, he averaged 3.1 yards per carry and had just totally slowed down. If he were still good, he would have got a shot again.
100%.
So
I mean,
that applies across all sports.
If you
can still play,
yep.
yeah.
Yep. If he was still good, I mean, it's the second that they got any sort of clarity on his league. Actually, maybe not, because clearly the Browns don't care about clarity on their legal situation. But yeah, it's just like exactly like Brad just said. If there is any thought that he could produce again, he would have been signed probably the next day.
Yeah, it comes down to the bottom line. If the headache is worth the production, then he's going to be playing.
Could say the same thing about Kaepernick. If he was good,
yes,
up until all of his stuff came happen, somebody would have absolutely still signed him.
Of course.
But he wasn't good. So
Some people think it's just about that when he got benched for Blaine Gabbert at the end of his career because he sucked.
Yeah.
who
Blaine
was the
Gabbert.
I think he was the Chiefs running back.
Kareem
Hunt.
Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Fellow UT alumni. Fellow UT alumni.
Guess where he plays now? Cleveland.
Browns. Yeah.
He had to come back home to Ohio, man. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Where did he go? I think he's from Toledo. Elyria, Ohio, where I live right now.
No way, really?
Not joking. Literally from Elyria. Wow.
Wow. Well, thank God you're getting out of there, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can go to Pittsburgh where there's definitely a much longer list of guys with domestic. This is kind of nuts. So I didn't know anyone famous was from here. It was actually from Lorraine, which is like 10 minutes away, but still. Whatever. Moving on. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I don't either. This is just rant city, fucking tangent city lately, dude.
Let's save the trade deadline preview for next week because
Okay.
we've already ran really long and I think it deserves a bit more time than us just kind of squeezing it in before the draft stuff.
That's fine.
We have time anyway.
Are we still talking about the draft?
I would like to because we're not going to have another episode before the first pick.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Wait. So that's Sunday night then. huh?
Sunday night. Yep.
Fuck yeah, dude! Finally.
Hey,
I
Josh.
hate how late it is, man. I mean, how late the draft is.
Yeah.
Josh, look at your phone.
What did you send me?
Wow, they're talking shit behind my back right now. They're talking about me, guys.
Oh, we're not.
Why did you send me this during a podcast?
I have no idea what's going
Brad,
on.
I am not. I couldn't make this up. It is literally a Star Wars meme.
It is a Star Wars man.
Okay. All right.
Not even like a mainstream format either.
I love that format so
I do
much.
too. That's why
I saw one that it was like when you click on a porn video and it says warning explicit content. That's why I'm here.
Oh my god, Brad, who do you want to see the Orioles take first overall in the draft?
So for me, I guess I would lean towards Drew Jones since he's the consensus favorite, and that's what I kind of want to see him go to. But I won't be mad as long as it's one of Jones, Green, or Termarr Johnson.
Not Holiday.
Now, granted, mind you, I fully admit this is all based off things that I read, and when I'm talking about minor league players, I form opinions based off evaluating their stats day to day and watching them in person, putting it all together. When it comes to draft prospects, it's not the same. I'm merely guessing based off what I'm reading. So I would probably put Holiday behind those three, but if they drafted him, sure. It's not like I would be, I hope he fails or anything like that. Fuck that guy. I mean, I'm going to get behind whoever they draft.
I don't think we should pick Holiday on the basis that he looks like he's 14.
Did you see what DL Hall looks like when we drafted him?
No, it doesn't matter now. Jackson Holiday's 14 now.
Okay, well, DL Hall looked younger than 14 when we drafted him.
Yeah.
He looks 12. I got to find the picture I saw the other day from his draft press conference. It was crazy.
Well, we showed you Drew Rom's perfect game picture. Fetus Drew.
I don't remember that one.
I'll send that to you after we're done here. But any perfect game picture you can find of any of the Orioles prospects or players or anything, they're so funny because they don't look like the same person. Trey Mancini at Notre Dame was really funny looking.
Is it this picture? Too much light. Shit. Damn it.
It's not that one.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, he looked about the same then. I think the perfect game picture was even a year and a half before he was drafted. So. I'd like to preface.
Yeah.
Preface.
That is the correct word.
Preface any draft takes I may make on the same basis that Brad kind of did, where it's I read a lot of opinions. I've never watched these guys play. I don't even think I've watched video clips of any of them besides one Drew Jones viral home run clip or something like that.
The one where everyone's overrated, and then he hits it 400 feet. Yeah. That's the only one I've seen too.
I like looking at the prospect grades, pro comp, stuff like that. But I'm so much less informed on draft prospects.
Indeed.
Exactly. This is merely just me taking a stab at it.
You have to try really hard just to find the high school guy's stats. It's not fun.
I get a lot more excited about these guys once they're started in affiliated ball. But yeah, that's my take. I want one of those three guys, I guess. And if Jackson Holiday is the guy, sure. I want it to be a high school guy. I'll put it that way. I don't really want it to be Brooks Lee. I don't think he fits the timeline we're looking for. I think we got guys that are already going to be MLB ready. And if we draft a high school player, then, I think we're going to be loaded in the infield, loaded in the outfield. It's just more time to figure out what we're going to do if we draft a high school guy.
Yeah. So I agree with that. Ryan, what do you think?
I don't fucking care. I'm sorry.
Someone you kind of like.
I don't. Drew Jones. He's the best player. Whatever. Take him. If they don't, I don't care. It's going to be, if they take a high school player, we're not going to see them for 5 years. Who gives a shit? Sorry.
I mean, I'll still be excited about watching them through the minors and all that. But yeah.
I'm like you, but a little more, Brad. I'll care when they get to I don't know, high A. I don't even think I'll care when they're in Delmarva. Genuinely.
I mean, you at least had a little bit of fun watching Heston Kjerstad completely dominate Delmarva, right?
Like when Kobe Mayo came to Delmarva, that was kind of talked about.
I know.
And fun. Yeah.
I know. It doesn't matter that much.
I know what you're saying, though, Ryan.
It's just so far off. I don't care, and I just, in the back of my mind, I know that as much as we don't want to think about it, most of these prospects are not going to pan out. We only need a few to pan out, and we'll be good. But there's no point in getting hype over these guys when they're probably not going to pan out. So when they start producing at the higher levels of the minors and consistently hitting well or pitching well, whoever they are, then yes, I'll be like, all right, maybe we have something here. But I'm happy for Heston because of his story. If this was still, if we took him last year and this was happening, I would be a lot less excited because, again, I would just want to see it at the next level. Then I'll get excited.
That's a good take.
And I think it's just, we kind of circle back to life as a sports fan, and you can only set yourself up to be disappointed so many times before you have to start doing things actively to stop setting yourself up to be disappointing. And the one thing that I do that sets myself up for constant disappointment and depression and tears is root for the Washington Capitals. So I've taken
They won a championship a couple years ago.
They fluked their way into a championship a couple years ago.
Fucking what? Almost every team that wins a championship flukes their way to a championship. You have to be lucky to win a championship.
Brad, they haven't won a playoff series since then.
Okay, I mean, whatever.
They've lost in the first round every year since they won the Stanley Cup. Yes, the Stanley Cup was amazing, but that was 5 years ago now.
That's crazy how long ago that was.
I know.
Five
It
years
doesn't.
ago?
It does not feel. It was 2018. Four. Sorry, 4. My bad.
I thought it was
Yeah.
at least like 2019 or 20. But
No,
No, it was
18.
definitely, yeah, I remember. Yeah, because I remember that time period.
And,
Yeah.
and you also have to consider, Brad,
I
ignoring.
remember.
All I'm saying is I remember like things that I was doing that night when they won the championship.
I
and I was
know.
like, oh, that's 2018. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
So do I. But also, you have to think of the years of utter failure leading up to that. Ever since they drafted Alex Ovechkin in 2005.
That's life as a fucking sports fan, man.
Yeah, but not many teams. There have been some. I know. Not many teams have consistently been good. Consistently been the best team in their league and still not even gotten close.
Kansas basketball till this season for the most part, really. I mean, they had
Dodgers
only
till 2020.
Yeah.
The Capitals
the
won.
the
Braves till last year. They won the division like 15 years straight.
Yeah.
I mean, and they won one World Series out of it. So yeah, I mean, it happens.
It does. But this is the only time it's happened to me. So
Fair enough.
just applying it to myself.
I'm just telling you, like I went through a lot of similar stuff with KU basketball. They were always a 1 or 2 seed. They always broke my heart.
I mean, really, you can think about
But-
it too. We're
but-
kind of going through this with the Ravens now too.
I was going to say the Ravens aren't far off.
Yeah, the Ravens aren't far off, but I've still seen 2 Super Bowls for the Ravens,
Yes.
and you can't really complain about that.
No, you
Yes,
can't.
it broke in my heart, but again, it just comes back to that's life as a sports fan.
Mhm.
And with the Orioles coming into hopefully a run of very many successful seasons, we don't know that they'll win a World Series. We don't.
No.
And that's the cold hard truth. There has to be luck involved. You have to be good and you have to be lucky.
6 years from now, I could be saying the exact same words I just said about the Orioles.
Yeah.
We don't.
They're
know.
always so fucking good, and they always break my heart in the play. Yeah, it could. In fact, more likely than not, 6 years from now. I mean, I hope hopefully they win one, but there's
The
a
odds
lot
are
of
not in your favor.
there's a
No,
lot of
they never are.
randomness. Yeah, there's a lot of randomness that goes into winning a championship, but people forget that when they see things like Tom Brady winning 7 Super Bowls and LeBron winning a bunch of championships and the late 90s Yankees winning 3 in a row. And they tend to think that's the norm, but it's really not in sports. It's not. That's why winning a championship is so special.
Dynasties are so rare, man.
Yeah, and that's why you should appreciate those kind of things as opposed to hate on them. I know unless it's a direct rival, then you should be fuming and you should be like, just
Right.
filled with rage every day of your life. But like, if it's a team that you have no ill feelings toward, I welcome it. That's why I was rooting for the Lightning when they made the Stanley Cup again. I mean, they won 2 what a lot of people would say Mickey Mouse Cups in the last 2 years. First one was won in the bubble where no fans, everybody's playing at the same arena. So it was pretty weird. They formatted the playoffs differently that year, so more teams got in than would have. And then 2021, fans were back, but they played. The divisions were realigned. They realigned all the divisions and they cut down from there was 3 divisions in each conference. They cut down to 2, and they basically just grouped everyone geographically, and you only play divisional games.
The whole season?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
So like, yeah, I mean, we played the Caps played the Penguins like fucking 15 times or something. Like it was like that. So there was that. And then they ended up playing the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup final. And every other year, the Canadiens are an Eastern Conference team. That never happens. But just because of the way they also they had to put all of the Canadian teams in division. Because Canada, and they still do, there was no travel.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have let any of the Americans in, so all the Canadian teams just had to fly around Canada and play each other. And they happened to be the Canadian division ended up in the Western Conference.
Yeah,
so you ended up with Montreal in the Stanley Cup final. That was a fluke run too. They were They have been one of the worst teams in the league over the last like 5 years. They had some weird fluke run in a weird year, and they made it to the cup final, and they got embarrassed. Frankly, I think the Bolts won in like 5.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why I was rooting for them this year. Long story short, I was rooting for them this year because 3 in a row in a cap league. I mean, it's unheard of. It really is.
People assumed that, or at least they did, assumed that Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs were going to go on a run where they'd win like 5 Super Bowls in 10 years. And they got one. They got one. And now Travis Kelce's getting older. Tyreek Hill's gone. Do we know for sure Patrick Mahomes is going to win again? We don't. And everyone thought he was the next Tom Brady in terms of championships. I think he might be better in overall talent, but not, I don't think he's going to win nearly as many championships if he ever wins another one.
Got to start now. It's kind of what I admire so much about like Boston sports, as much as that kind of sucks to say. Every single team is in it every single year, all the way.
I'm envious.
Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox. It doesn't matter. Patriots. It doesn't matter. Like, I think I like the Red Sox the most out of our division rivals. Like, there's not really a right answer, I guess, but
you haven't been an O's fan long enough.
I suppose not. And I haven't watched enough games on TV, I guess, when I was younger.
Yeah, but you also didn't go to – you also have never been to Camden Yards when the Red Sox are in town.
Oh, no, I haven't. I would really like to be.
That would change your opinion completely.
Yep.
Okay. Nonetheless, though, like Boston sports, man, they win every year. They are always in the playoffs. They are constantly building their core and everything. Like, doesn't matter what division or sport or anything, but –
I will say I've been to Boston for 2 Caps Bruins games, and I have had fantastic experiences with those people.
I enjoyed my time at the Red Sox game.
They were incredibly nice. Well, but you weren't there as a rival fan. You were just there.
You're right. I think I were.
Yeah. I didn't get harassed. I mean, I wore my jersey. Like, I wasn't hiding. Wore a jersey, wore a hat. This one guy, like the worst heckles that I got was I came back. So there's a pizza, like a famous pizza place in Boston, and I can't remember the name of it. So forgive me, anyone who's yelling right now about the name of this pizza place, but they give you a slice of pizza that I shit you not is like the size of my computer monitor. It is big. Like, it's this big, holding my hands up. It's a huge pizza slice. I saw somebody walk past me with one. I was like, oh, I need to sample that.
You don't sample something that big.
So I got one, and I came back to my seat, and like, this is literally the worst heckle I got. Was a guy a couple rows behind us was like, "Hey, that's a nice pizza slice."
Top tier insult, because what do you say?
Yeah, I'm
Thanks,
like
man.
Holding it with 2 hands. I'm like, yeah, I know.
I would say more often than not, when I've gone to away games and I've worn my favorite team's stuff, the vast majority of people are super cool.
I mean, most people aren't confrontational enough for that. Like, it's usually like drunk people at like real rivals games are probably.
But some of them I've had other teams fans even go out of their way to like be cool. So
yep. KU and KU football in Morgantown comes to mind.
Oh my God,
we went together.
Dude, yeah, and that was nothing compared to the time before when I went. When like, I guess it was similar because we had people invite us to their tailgate and stuff. So yeah, and we were drinking moonshine. And they're standing around singing "Country Roads." And that was
it was Sweet Caroline.
Oh, is that what it was?
It was Sweet Caroline, and they made sure they told us that if we were going to sing along, instead of dot dot dot, we had to say "eat shit pit."
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they taught us like what pockets to put beers in so that we could get them into the stadium.
Yeah, that was funny. That was good times, man.
It was really good times, actually. That's why when you brought it up, I was like, hell yeah, I want to go back.
Yeah, you guys are making me want to be more fervent in my request to go.
Make it happen, bro.
I would like to. I just don't know my situation.
Especially if you're going to be living in Pitt, then that's not maybe a couple hours.
I think it's 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like maybe a 2-hour drive.
It's
nothing.
Short, that's shorter for you than it is for us.
Yeah, true. I actually want to see
now. Actually, for you probably, Brad, but me being in Frederick now, I don't know.
That's true. It's probably
my worst.
Hour 16, Morgantown to Pittsburgh.
Wow. My worst visiting fan experience was in Sunrise, Florida in November, seeing the fucking Panthers and Caps. These dudes got off to like a good start. Of course, they ended up winning the President's Trophy, best team in the league, and then they got bounced in the second round, as the President's Trophy winner always does. And these guys were off to a pretty good start. I think they'd gone unbeaten at home, and just horrendous. Like, just people are just trashy. I mean, this dude spit in my face.
Oh yeah, that's next level. Right
not
there.
not like loogie spit, but like our faces were close because he was standing up, we were leaving, and I was kind of like sideways shuffling past him to get out. So our faces passed right in front of each other, and we were very close. And he did like a like raspberry thing.
So he did spit on you.
But I'm saying I'm specifying that he didn't hack one up and then spit it at me. But his spit still ended up on my face regardless.
See, whenever I'm shuffling down the aisles like that, I always go back to the person. Don't care.
Yeah, I should have done, but I didn't expect that to happen.
Well, of course not, but it's a general principle that I don't want to be face to face with some random person.
You're right. Perfectly valid. They also keyed our rental car. Somebody did in the parking lot.
Very nice.
Yep.
Very professional.
So fuck you, Sunrise. Glad you all lost. I will not be coming back.
Cleveland for me, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you said that was pretty
and I was with
rough.
my buddy who's a Browns fan, and even he after the fact was like, dude, I'm sorry that they were like that. I was like, it's fine, dude, don't worry. He was like, I don't like that they're like that. They were all like that.
People here can be very confrontational, like about sports. I've noticed at least a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can understand. I'm all for some good-natured sports trash talk, but like I was getting cussed out for no reason. I wasn't even like being obnoxious. I was just kind of there.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a line. I actually invite like lighthearted trash talk.
Yeah,
when I go to places, I love it. It's fun.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy going to away games like that. But there's definitely a difference between that and people like clearly, cussing you out and being confrontational and shit like that. So there's a line, and when it's crossed.
Yeah, like when I was at that Panthers game, like it was a TV timeout, right? The fucking ice girls are out there sweeping snow, shoveling snow off the ice. Everyone's just chilling. Me and my friend Matt are talking. This dude just stands up. He's like this. He's a couple rows in front of us. He just goes. And he points at me, and I just go, I'm just being friendly. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he just goes, fuck you. Double birds. And I was like, why?
Good afternoon.
Yeah. I was like, why? I just went, why? And he did he pulled the, the jersey, like, oh, you're wearing another jersey. I'm like, yeah, I am. And he was like, yeah, so fuck you. I was just like, I just have my hands up. I'm like, I don't know how to respond to this. You don't have anything else. You don't have anything else to say. No lighthearted like joke. Just fuck you for existing and being here, I guess. And he started getting mad because I don't know if he was trying to bait me into something, but I just was like, I was just literally just like, I just had my hands up. I was like smiling. I was like, what? I don't know what you want me to say, man. And he started getting angry. And his friends had to like grab him by his arms and like pull him back down into his seat and shit. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then a couple people did turn around and be like, sorry about that guy, man. I'm like, yeah, it's part of it. I just don't I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like when I was at the Tigers game when the Orioles were in town, like I came down the aisle, I sat front row, and everyone was like kind of half like heartedly booing me and stuff like that. But then like if the Orioles would do something good, they'd be like, you got us this time or whatever. And someone saw me wearing a Mountcastle jersey, and when he came up to bat in like a clutch spot, like this old couple behind me was like, oh, that's your guy batting up there. And I was like,
love old people. I love old people at sporting events. They're so much fun.
They're great. But then you go to Cleveland, and the high school kids told me to have a nice drive back to Baltimore where I don't live. So I mean, you get some give and take,
Yeah. The there was this one guy, and he was like, he wasn't even saying it to us. I guess he was just like, there's a thing that sports fans do, and I'm guilty of it too, is if you're in the presence of an away fan, you'll say things into the void, not at them. You just want them to hear you.
It's maybe something you would have thought, but since they're around, you're going to say it.
Precisely.
Right.
This dude started he started yelling about Ovi. He started yelling like, Ovechkin overrated as fuck. He's overrated. He sucks. And then he scored. I mean, like maybe a couple minutes later. And me and Matt were up because the Caps were down 4-1. And that goal made it 4-3 before they eventually did tie it. The game went to overtime. They lost. It was such a good game. You know, for a loss, like it was probably the best loss I've ever experienced, just the game wise, because it was so back and forth. The Cavs managed to come back. It was fun. And like he was sitting like it's like same row basically, but like off to the side. And me and Matt were like, you know, really getting into it, really cheering. And I looked down at him and he just went like, he made that like, yeah, okay, that kind of face. But yeah. Guys, I think we should wrap up. We've been going for a while.
In short, my number one pick's Tamar Johnson.
Oh my God. After all that.
So there you have it.
High hit to a guy. His pro comp is Jose Altuve, who Elias is very familiar with. I guess. I don't know.
Word.
Like I said earlier, I didn't pay much attention. I didn't watch any clips, but he has like a Wander Franco type of build out to like high hit tool. Mid kind of in the field, but really good offensive stuff. And Tamar, that's my guy. That's my pick. If he doesn't get picked, I don't really care.
Pick one of Jackson Holiday, Tamar Johnson, Elijah Green, Drew Jones, or Brooks Lee, and I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, so can we FaceTime the night of the draft, like while it's happening? Picks
Should
live.
be fine. Yeah, I guess it should be fine.
Okay.
When's the draft again?
Sunday night.
Wait, Sunday. I'm probably playing ball, but so it depends what time. I don't know what time I play. What
Let
time
me
the
look up
draft
what
is.
time the draft is. I think it's like 8:00, maybe.
That's too late. Sorry, I'll be in bed.
At
Oh.
8:00.
You only got to be up for one pick.
I don't know, man. That's pushing it. We're pushing.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll talk about it.
I'm just kidding. Yes,
Okay.
I'll do it right before the pick comes in. I'll jump on really quick.
7 p.m.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
The draft begins at the first two rounds and supplemental rounds at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. So
All right, we can do that.
that's pretty.
All right.
It's a pretty good time.
Real quick, I'm not going to go through a full detailed minor league update like I normally do, but just before we get off, obviously everyone knows Heston Kjerstad absolutely demolished low A ball. He put up a 550 OBP. He's going to Aberdeen. Good shit. Colton Cowser off to a good start in Double-A. He's got over a 500 on base percentage through 2 weeks there as well.
I got a text from my buddy from West Virginia who's an O's fan. He texts me like every 6 months and he goes, "Is Cowser that guy?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah, dude, he's got a career minor league on base percentage of like 430. That's kind of fucking insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he probably has some trade value for sure, or value for us, however it plays out. Noah Denoyer, that's a guy to keep an eye out for. It's not necessarily talked about that much. He's got a 2.25 ERA this year, 67 Ks in 52 innings pitched. Just absolutely killing it. Ryan Watson, another good name to watch out for Bowie. He's got like a 3.7 ERA. He's kind of surprised some people this year as well. So, anyways, like I said, I'm not going to run all the way through it. Just kind of want to comment on a few guys. Norby's off to a decent start in Double-A as well. We'll see how things go this week.
Mayo tweaked his back, right? But he should be.
Yes, he did. As far as I knew at the time, it wasn't anything super serious. In
He
fact,
said on Twitter last night that he feels great.
actually, the night that it happened, he got pulled from the game. I'm sitting first base side, and when he's walking by, I was like, "Kobe, you good, right?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm good, man. No worries." And he seemed pretty confident in that answer. So
I want to run this by the general crowd real quick because we've all talked about it. Maybe Brad wasn't quite as listening, but Kobe Mayo posted this cool video of him last night hitting a home run. He's like, my favorite swing of the year or the first half or something so far. And he was replying to every single comment and stuff, all the quote tweets and everything. Like it could have been the dumbest stuff. Like Adley Rutschman's big tits gave him the one of the comments and he instantly responded. And he responded to me what chicken sandwich he likes. It's Chick-fil-A. But I woke up this morning.
did see that.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and everything was gone. The original tweet, all his comments, all gone. And it just made me sad.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know why that would be, but
He probably because he replied to like Adley Rutschman's big tits. Front office rivals.
You think? You think that would have done it?
That's not what did it, Josh. Come
I'm
on.
joking, dude. Come on.
Okay.
Come
All right.
on.
All right.
Reputable reporter Adley Rutschman's big tits.
You never know with how certain things go with public relations. So
Shout out to ARBT. Walk with
Shout out
hashtag walk with big tits.
Walk with big tits. Shout out to Warehouse Busters, who's a burner account for the front office.
I'm gonna have to check that one out. I didn't know about that one.
Oh yeah, dude.
We can fill you in after.
Yeah, we can.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Well, let's wrap this one up and then you can fill me in.
All right. All right. Per usual, follow the podcast account at Podcast Birdie. Follow me at RyanSet094. Follow Josh at Out-of-State-O's and follow Brad at KU Brad Wandell. Thanks for sticking with us on a long rambling podcast where we just kind of, got off on a lot of tangents, but I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did because I had a lot of fun tonight. I don't know about you guys.
For sure, man.
Yes, sir.
The riff episodes are sometimes the best.
Yeah, riff episodes are fun. We should try one day doing an episode with positively no notes and just see what happens.
Like one
I
topic.
No topics.
No topic.
I looked at the notes for 10 seconds at the beginning, and that's so.
Yeah, that's true. Brad doesn't even look at the notes.
Brad just
anyway.
reacts to what we're starting to talk about. Like
I will look quickly at the bullet points as we're getting on, and then I just go with conversation.
Ryan could legitimately have a document of his own, and we could probably do a full episode if he just led into the topics. Like we don't need the notes for the rest of us, but it is nice to have.
Yeah. I just prefer to let whoever puts the topic in the thing to start it off because they have a way that they want to begin addressing it and open it to conversation that the rest of us would not have.
Yeah.
So, yep. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope you enjoyed. It's fun. We'll see you next week, and hopefully we've got some more O's wins to talk about, and we can kind of start once we have the actual pick narrowed down and we actually know who it is. We can actually do some research on it and analyze it and see what we all think instead of just speculating on the 5 guys that it could be.
Yeah, we'll do the same thing as last year. Break down all the picks best we can.
Yep. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Thanks a lot for listening.
Stand with big tits.